Are we talking about Philippines banknotes? So the Philippines banknotes are quite an extensive series. Until 1949, they were issued by the Americans from from the 1880s, sometime like that, and before that by the Spanish. But the earlier banknotes, as you can see in this banknote, so if you're on the podcast, I'm also on YouTube and you can view this video. This is a 1949 series of banknotes. But the 1949 has two different series. So there's one with the victory on the back, so it's easily distinguished, but they're all a different design. But if you've got victory on the back, that's the Central Bank of the Philippines. One's overprinted and they're similar to the 1944, but this one is the second English version without the overprint, and these come in denominations of 5 centavos to 500 pesos, and these were pretty much equivalent to the United States dollar. So the 20, 50, 100, 200 and 500 peso banknotes will be the expensive. 500 is quite hard to get. Very few of them were printed. And very few of them do survive. So you're probably going to pay a few $1,000s. So this 1 peso is probably the more common. And it has the Barasoain Church. Anyway, the name is on the banknote itself. And that is a nice, it looks like a Roman Catholic church because the Filipinos are pretty Roman Catholic. And you're probably wondering, why is it called peso? Well, considering that Spanish controlled the place for like 200-300 years, the Americans did not bother to change the currency from peso to dollar. So this banknote is quite dirty, and you can see it has 2 signatures. So one of the signatures is the president. So this one has the signature of Fidel Marcos, and he's the president of the Philippines. The other one is the governor of the central bank, and in this case it's I'm not even going to say his name. Castillo, I think so. Castillo. And on the front of the banknote it has this guy, so he's always on the 1 peso banknote, and that's Apolinario Mapino, and it's a different guy from the person who's depicted on the coin, who is Mr. Jose Rezo. So it would have been nice if they did put his image on the actual coin. So in this condition, so this is probably fine condition. You're probably paying like $1. And here's the second banknote. And here's more clear signatures. So this one's probably very fine. It does have staining down the bottom. So this banknote is not much as well. Here's a more clearer image. So where did I get these banknotes from? Well, these 4 are from family members. So I forget my uncle's name, but he was, no, it's not really my uncle. He's like my cousin's father's brother, so like step uncle-in-law, step uncle, whatever you want to call it. Sometimes I just forget English. But he was in the Navy, and what he used to do is he used to travel around different countries, as you do in the Navy, on the ships, and he got some, Philippines currency. So basically these 4 banknotes, they got these 2 pesos from 1949, and these 2 that were issued in 1969. So sometime after that period, probably 1970, they did issue a 1 peso coin in, let's have a look on Numistar, because I can't remember all this stuff. So they're, 1972. So 69 to 70 3 probably. When these would have circulated for quite a long time afterwards. And this one has, or there it is, so here's the guys on the coin. So, and this one is a nice series, as you can see. So in the mid-70s, these started to be withdrawn. And in this condition, you're not going to be paying too much. An uncirculated banknote, you'll probably be paying, $4 to $5 for one of these, because they're just a very common banknote. So that's how I got these banknotes. And being a last series, you'll see, yeah, people like to keep their, if they know this is going to disappear, they want to keep some. So a lot of people will have kept these 1 peso banknotes in all types of conditions. Obviously these ones are kept in use because that's more like a tourist encounter. A lot of people, when they go overseas to a different country, they like to keep some of the currencies. Usually they keep the lower value denominations and they cash in the high value denominations, because there's really no use keeping high value denominations in this grade. Okay, so then we have a 10 pesos, and as you can see, it has Apollinario Mabino. So this is an uncirculated one, so you pay probably $5 to $10 for this banknote. And this one has the red serial number, so this is the last issue from around about 1985, around about that period. So this is the mid-value banknote. It's actually quite nice. This series is good. And on this side we have the Simbahan. Oh, my Tagalog. So all this is in Tagalog. Tagalog, if you're not too familiar with languages, is an Austronesian language. So it is related to Maori. It's related to Malay and Indonesian, and most of the languages of the Pacific, like Cook Island, Maori, Tongan. A lot of the languages in coastal Papua New Guinea and New Guinea of Indonesia, and it's supposed to have evolved in Taiwan. So this came in other values of the 1 peso that we saw before. We've got the 2, 5 peso, 20, 50, 100 pesos, and they never issued a 2 or 500 pesos in this denomination because it really was not needed. Okay, so this is the Barasain Church. So it is another Roman Catholic church. There's a bell tower, and here's the front doors. So these will be the side doors for you to go out. And the watermark is whoever is. Oh, so you can't see the watermark on that side. Let's see it on that side. Whoever is on the banknote. So that's a nice banknote. And the last Filipino banknote I have is a replacement 100 pesos from 1978 series. He has Marcos again. And this one is in pretty used condition. If you wanted an uncirculated version, I've seen that there is one listing on eBay for about $30. And then you got tax, so probably about $35. Around about that price. So it does get expensive, but once they're gone, they're probably going to go up in value. And this one has the Central Bank of the Philippines building, so you don't even need to look at the English. It's Banco Central NUG, so the NG will be of the Philippines. And this one, the watermark is the same person who is on its banknote, and that's Manuel Roxas. So a good thing about the Philippines is that they have people who are significant in the history of the Philippines. So most of these would have been independence fighters of some sort, intellectuals, something to do with independence. So you can find all the information about these people on the Philippines. So when you're looking at replacement banknotes of the Philippines, forget about the last 6 numbers. They're just general prefix. But you got a star and you got a number. So I'm not too familiar with why the number represents, but I'm just gonna have an educated guess and just say this is the 4 millionth reprint of a star note. And it's similar to any other star note, it's just a replacement for banknotes that have been damaged. And as far as I know, the Philippines still do this. Most other countries do not, because now we can just record the banknote on computers and just reprint those numbers. So it's very more efficient now than manually having to change the numbering system to reissue the same number series again. So in Australia we got rid of that in the 1970s because it's just really an outdated system, and in the United States they still use it. So this one's probably worth about $5, I would say. I was so excited when I got this one. I was like, oh yeah, I'm rich, I'm a quadrillionaire now, because that's what a lot of people think. They think they got a banknote or a coin that is not too common, so they think, oh yeah, I'm going to retire. But very few coins and banknotes are worth a lot of money. If you get one that you can retire on, it has to be at least a few hundred to $1 million or a few million, and those ones are quite scarce. So if you're paying that money for that one, generally we know where the coin or banknote come from. We know you just had it in the past, and it's highly unlikely you're going to come across something like that in the future. I'm not saying it's impossible. There's been some evidence where people have. You're more likely to find a coin hoard instead of finding just a single valued banknote. Like someone in the United States, I think California, they were renovating the houses or digging up the backyard, something like that. It was something to do with their property anyway. And they found $10 million in gold coins. I think most of them were $20 gold coins. And someone suggested they might be a proceeds of a robbery, but the mint couldn't find any evidence of the case. So they would have kept the actual coins. Now the government would have probably said, yeah, you need to pay tax on that. So, because that's, the proceeds. When you come to wealth like that, you can't really claim it as a hobby. It's really $10 million. That's an income. It's not a hobby. So you will be paying tax on it. Anyway, I hope you like Philippines coins. They're actually quite nice. Oh, sorry, I mean banknotes. I don't have any Philippines coins on the table at the moment. I'm learning to put my stuff away. Anyway, I'll leave a link down below to Philippines on eBay. I don't have any on my coin shop at the moment. I will leave some. This will be in a playlist, so if you want to look up the Philippines playlist, you can look at all the videos I made on the Philippines. And leave a comment down below, give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, and have an awesome coin and banknote collecting time. Thank you, and goodbye.